And welcome everyone to the 700 Club. I'm Wendy Griffith. Pat Robertson is not here today. He is in Washington, D.C. for an exclusive interview with President Donald J. Trump. You can see their conversation on this show tomorrow. But first, in today's news, one of Trump's lawyers, Jay Sekulow, says the president's son did not violate the law when he met with a Russian lawyer last year. And now investigators looking into Russian interference in last year's elections want to talk with Donald Trump Jr. Heather Sells has the story.
Donald Trump Jr. released his lengthy email chain that shows what happened. Emails from publicist Rob Goldstone last summer indicated that a Russian lawyer had damaging information about Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton. Trump Jr. said, "I love it," and agreed to the meeting. Last night on Sean Hannity's show, he expressed regret and said that the meeting went nowhere.
In retrospect, I probably would have done things a little differently.
The Russian lawyer told NBC News that she had no connection to the Kremlin, although Trump Jr. was reportedly told before the meeting that the Russian government had information that could help his father. The revelation about the meeting, including Trump Jr., along with Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner and campaign official Paul Manafort, has caught Washington by surprise. And now a race has begun to see who gets the first crack at questioning him. 3 different congressional committees are investigating Russia's interference in last year's election, and they each want to talk to Trump Jr., who says he's willing to talk to Congress. CNN reports special counsel Robert Mueller's team will also examine the meeting and emails as part of its Russia investigation. Lawmakers were quick to respond to the story, with some Democrats taking a very hard line.
This is moving into perjury, false statements, and even into potentially treason.
The White House called such language ridiculous, but a few Republicans openly criticized the president's son, too.
His characterization of the meeting has changed, which creates suspicion.
Other Republicans are defending Trump Jr. or keeping quiet. The president on Tuesday applauded his son's transparency and called him a high-quality person. Heather Sells, CBN News.
Thanks, Heather. And a reminder, on tomorrow's 700 Club, Pat will have an exclusive interview with President Trump on a wide range of subjects. You don't want to miss that. That's again tomorrow on the 700 Club. In other news, a surprising decision from Republicans in the Senate. John Jessup has that story from our CBN News Bureau in Washington. John?
Wendy, senators are dropping their 2 weeks of annual August recess and will stay in Washington to work instead. The reason, they say they have too much to get done and not enough working days left before the end of the budget year. Abigail Robertson brings us more on their decision to stay put.
Senators are taking a page out of the private sector's book, canceling part of their August recess because they haven't finished their work.
At this time, it doesn't make any sense for us to just take the month of August off.
Republican leadership blame a historic obstruction by Democrats in confirming President Trump's nominees as the main thing stalling their legislative work.
The president's nominated 196 people. 23% of his nominees have been confirmed. 69% of President Obama's nominees had been confirmed by the 1st August he was in office. 10% of President Trump's nominees have been allowed to have a voice vote. 90% of President Obama's nominees were confirmed by voice vote.
Senator Blunt calculates at this rate it would take over 11 years for the Senate to confirm all the nominees.
That, of course, would not allow us to do anything else. It is unacceptable. It's outrageous. Something has to change.
Democrats say canceling the recess is more about Republicans trying to pass a health care bill to replace Obamacare.
I have sympathy for the Republicans. If I were them, I wouldn't want to go home and face the voters either, because they're not getting a very good reaction when it comes to this bill.
McConnell hopes for a vote next week on a revised version if he can win over some GOP opposition. Republican senators have a big agenda they want to accomplish this year beyond health care. But they're running out of time. One thing some don't want as a distraction, the drama following the White House over possible collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia.
We've got to come up with a health care outcome. We've got to come up with a tax plan. We've got to come up with a spending strategy. And we've got to be disciplined and not get distracted by things that may be legitimate, but not right now in our lanes.
Reporting from Washington, Abigail Robertson, CBN News.
Thanks, Abigail. China, the country with the world's biggest population, is facing an abandoned baby crisis. Many parents there are walking away from children born with physical disabilities. Gary Lane brings us the story of one Chinese couple that saved a child and called on God to do a miracle.
For 7 years, Fu Twin-zhi and his wife Xiao Li tried to conceive a child. Finally, in 2011, they decided to adopt an abandoned baby. The Christian couple was thrilled when they found the perfect baby at a local orphanage.
As soon as we got the phone call, we were so happy. My wife and I couldn't wait to see this baby. We've been waiting for this day forever.
In the midst of their happiness, they received disappointing news. The baby that they thought had been perfectly and wonderfully made was born with a small tumor in his mouth and was not able to eat and drink.
We didn't know what to do. We wanted to keep the baby. Meanwhile, the cost for the surgery was so expensive. We were heartbroken. We lost hope and direction.
These church members went through a tough time. They didn't ask for anything except for prayers and guidance. So I invited all Christians to pray for a miracle.
Half a world away, Americans Audrey and Rob Post heard about the Chinese family's struggle. A church member shared the story and then asked them to pray. They did so and remained faithful, believing that God would answer their prayers.
My husband and I always know the Lord can do miracles. Jesus answered prayers many times in our life, and we believe that nothing is too difficult for the Lord.
Other Christians also prayed for the Chinese couple and their baby. As time went by, although nothing changed, they still believed that God could work a miracle.
God's favor will show up when we are down to nothing. Just because they didn't see a way, it certainly didn't mean God was not working behind the scenes. I told the couple to remain faithful and patient.
Amazingly, one day, Zhi and Xiao Li saw the baby just spit something out of his mouth. They gave it a closer look and discovered it was the tumor that had been lodged in his mouth. The couple was brought to tears.
It's a miracle. Only Jesus could do such an unthinkable miracle. When all Christians come and pray together, we can move mountains.
Not only did God give an abandoned child a new home, but he also performed a life-changing miracle for an entire Chinese family. Gary Lane, CBN News.
Story, beautiful baby, and a great reminder of the power of prayer, Wendy.
Oh, you're not kidding. Wow, that was a true miracle for sure. Thanks so much, John.